37 clubs. Oh my god. What was the
35 men's, 2 women's?
Let me ask you this.
We can't address that these days. Women are just women.
Okay,
we're all human beings.
So let's go back.
Don't be
34 teams, 2 women in Columbus.
Oh,
damn, Silver.
God,
it's on fire tonight.
That was some good apple pie.
It's freaking Don Rickles over here.
Well, I know that the small tasting I had of the apple pie, it was delightful, which was not a small sampling.
What was your recruitment process to get those clubs?
Dick pics.
It was different this year than last year. Last year I had to. There was some begging.
Was there?
There was some begging. The close teams, they'll show up for anything. If you're close locally and you're like, oh, vintage baseball teams, oh yeah, and a lot of local teams know Frankenmuth as well. So that's just a day at the park for them. They love it. So there was some begging. There was necessary, like you guys coming on board immediately helped. I told you guys when you did that helped enormously with other teams from Ohio coming. If I wouldn't have had you guys on board so early, it probably would have been a lot tougher. And like I said, I didn't even hit my number last year.
I was going to ask about kind of the breakdown of states for the clubs. I seem to remember last year talking about you wanted to get it to be kind of exclusively every Michigan club at some point in time. What's the breakdown state by state? I know we've got invited again, so apparently we're still in for another year. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there will be a point where we say, Ohio guys, out. We're all Michigan.
Okay, so here's a chance for me to be honest about myself and tell it the way it is. I started this festival to be the Michigan Vintage Baseball Festival to invite every Michigan team. And then if I needed out-of-state teams to fill her up, I'd give it a shot. Well,
okay,
gentlemen, that's just not realistic. It's not realistic on Michigan's end. It's not realistic for the betterment of the festival. It's not, if we want to go somewhere, and I say if I want to take it somewhere, it's not me. I'm not doing anything different than Greenfield Village did when they started their thing, or Mike Ossie started the Michigan Ohio thing. I'm not doing anything different than other people are doing. I'm throwing an event. Okay, so this event is no more special than any other event that's happening. It's all for the betterment of the game. I couldn't do an all Michigan Vintage Baseball Festival and have it be better for the game, although that's where I started with it. That's not where I'm ending with it, because I have evolved.
That thing's grown out of control already, if you think about it. I mean, just in the first year.
I mean, let me ask you guys, and which one of you wants to answer from Columbus.
We'll have the smart one. I don't know which one that is either.
Okay. So the question to one of you gentlemen is, if I did an all Michigan festival, or if there was an all Ohio festival, how long would that last?
An all Ohio festival?
How long would an all Ohio festival?
Well, I mean, Rudy can definitely speak more to this. But
4 years.
We've got an Ohio, a battle for Ohio going right now. And honestly, last year struggled to get teams into it. The event just didn't happen. So
because there's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah.
But Matt, let's be serious though too. The better teams are in Michigan. Okay. The Ohio teams, I don't know what it is. There's a huge disconnect. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So with that being said, you took a fantastic, great place, and just take your credit. Okay. You did a great job. I'm proud of you, man. We had a great time going there. I know we're only in the second year, but a great location. You got everybody to buy in. You got everybody to embrace it. You got everybody to just take it and say, you know what? This sounds like a fantastic endeavor. This sounds like this sounds like a great event. And it took off. So I take my hat off to you with what has come from it and what has happened and what's transpired. So let's go with it. And then you got us as far as backing you and helping you out with trying to catapult it into the next greatest, vintage baseball fest. I mean, like Rudy was talking about with what happened on the last podcast they had a guy from out in Sacramento, and then they had him on the call. Like this could be huge. 48 states, 50 states, whatever it is. Take that.
I think the thing that I didn't realize your goal with it was to bring the two styles together. And once you know that, and I think expressing that to the rest of the teams is very important. I think if they all know that this isn't meant so that you guys play your game and you're separate, like you said just a few minutes ago, to help them.
Vintage baseball is not big enough for us to have different categories.
Mm-hmm.
To be strong, we have to be together. To go into the future, which is vintage baseball, we're going into the future. To go into the future, we have to do it together. We're not going anywhere being separate. It's not going to happen. So
it's like there's a wall.
What is that wall?
Yeah.
What's that wall?
Wall. It's huge.
Wow.
You call it a wall, you can call it a barrier, you can call it whatever you want. We're not getting there if we're not all together.
So you're asking where it's going, and it's not where I'm taking it. It's where everybody that plays takes it. I say this to Frankenmuth every time I meet with him. How big do you want this to get? Because I'm not going to be the one who makes it that big. They are.
Yeah.
I don't think they get that yet. But how big is vintage baseball going to get on a whole? Well, it depends on where everybody takes it. Not me.
Yeah.
It's like this. Now listen to this. In the movie Pulp Fiction, okay, there's that mysterious item in the briefcase.
Correct.
The only one who knows what that item is John Travolta. Okay, he looks in the briefcase, light, boom. That light in that briefcase is vintage baseball. Look at it like that. That's vintage baseball, but nobody knows what the fuck it is.
That's a good point.
It's true.
On that though, and
Here we go.
it's just listening to you is so inspirational. I want to start using that when I go out on dates. Like, look, I don't know how big I can make this thing. That's all on you. I can't make this. I can't make this thing bigger.
It's not.
That's you.
all
What are
on
you
them.
going to do?
Yeah.
I can't look at where we've gone from year 1 to year 2 on this festival. Okay, it's 37 teams that I didn't have to beg anybody for. From
Good.
26 that I had to do some begging. We're going to be on ESPN3 instead of Destination Michigan. We have a tournament and the festival. We actually have teams that are going to lose in the tournament and then go into the festival field. So they're going to be competitive and then bring it way down.
Yep. Yeah. I was away for a second, but just to talk about, to expand more on this year, how many fields are you going to have? I know we touched on it, but we never got, did we get an exact number? How many fields are you operating this year? 6 fields. My gosh. When's the first game? Like, give me just the time of when the first pitch for the first game is going to happen.
Didn't you get your email? What the hell?
I know, but the podcast listeners haven't gotten the email. But
They didn't have email in 1865. Damn it!
I believe we're doing a opening ceremony at the River Place stage at 8 until 8:15,
okay.
and then you walk to your fields, and the magical air horn that existed last year is going to happen. It will be in existence this year, but the air horn will only be good for the farm field because the field 1 and 2 will be on a different schedule, and they won't be following.
Maddie, how many times can we expect myself to be able to blow the horn?
Oh, jeez.
That was
The
the
horn is
highlight.
there. He doesn't have any control over it. It's how many times you can blow it.
Beggars can't be choosers.
This year, I actually have people, so I don't even know if I'm going to be in control of the horn, which will be nice.
Yeah.
Hush your mouth.
Which will be real nice.
Watch your mouth.
So let me ask you this: you got, and I'm not trying to lead you guys anywhere. Follow me on this. You
All
go
right.
from last year's festival, you go to what we can accomplish this year, because I could stink it up, it could fall apart. You don't know where it's going. I just have a vision. But if I successfully pull off what I want to do this year, where is it going to be next year?
I hope the same spot.
No, it won't be in the same spot. It'll be much bigger. It'll be twice as big again.
Yeah,
because there's so
Twice as
much
big.
there's room for growth in vintage baseball. So now next year you're not talking one festival in Frankenmuth on ESPN3. Now in 2020 you're talking 3 events on ESPN3 all over the place.
I mean just picking up from last year and the growth you've experienced this year, I mean, it's completely feasible. 2020 is going to be even bigger. I mean, out of the 3 of us sitting here right now, one of us predicted that this year would be twice as much bigger than the first year. That was me, buddy. I said it.
Absolutely.
Go back and listen. Episode 4.
Absolutely not.
Whatever. No, what, to talk more about it, what's going to be different about 2019 from 2018 then? Like you hinted at some stuff. Let's get into that. What do you got going on?
Well, why don't you tell me?
How about that?
You're part of it. Why don't you tell me? Why don't I ask you a question? Hey, Rudy.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going to be different about the 2019 festival than the 2018 festival?
Well,
It's always got to be about Rudy.
I'm glad that you asked that question. Apart from the Uncle Sam tournament that will be taking place within the festival, 2019 will also have a few events. One is the Mightiest Striker event,
which next year will be renamed to the Ian Frias Award.
I've been told, spoiler alert, they don't expect him to even be the rep because there's somebody better.
What?
We have some.
Thanks, Matt.
Rudy, I got to ask, have you, because our first game, one of our games is against the Squires.
No, that's going to change.
Oh, is it?
Sorry.
Son of a. But is the Iron Horse still playing with the Squires?
Ooh.
Do you remember the Iron Horse?
Yeah.
Like 6'5", chiseled, full of tattoos?
No. I'm going to no.
No, you don't remember him, or no, he's not playing?
No, I don't think he's playing.
Oh, because there's a guy that would be I've seen that guy hit the ball a long way.
So, Rudy, before you go farther, because you're not going down the road I'm asking you to go.
I know.
Acknowledge your participation in the festival, please. Acknowledge what you're a part of, and acknowledge what we're doing. You don't have to ask me. Tell me.
I'm a part of the rules committee for the Uncle Sam tournament. I spearheading the rules, and I'm also field. I'm bringing bases. We're in charge of outfitting the fields with bases.
Groovy.
What do you want to know about the tournament or my part in it?
Well, the important thing is we have Jeff Rawl as color analyst for one of the games. We have Corky Gaskell coming in to be color for another game. And then we have a very giddy and excited Tom LaRue being the color analyst for the championship game. Yeah. And he's also going to serve as the scoreboard electrician for the online stream during the first 2 matches. He will be representing Vintage Baseball on the broadcast end if there's any questions or concerns that happen, and you are on the field representative. You're the player representative for the Vintage Baseball tournament.
Will he be the Booger McFarland of Monday Night Football?
Without getting in everybody's way, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Hey, let me sit on this elevated position and just cruise back and forth and all that stuff.
I'm just trying.
We don't have to edit. It's all Rudy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to embarrass myself with that. No, and and that's the thing that I'm excited about this year. That you had an idea, and it just came organically. You had you realized that you were having teams from like 7, 8 different states, and you're like, there should be something to commemorate this, and it's such an organic idea, and I think it's brilliant.
It's not as organic as you would think.
Oh, this is something you were thinking about?
This was something. I think I talked to Kid about it. I think I called Kid the day that I talked to Go Live Sports, and they said, we love vintage baseball. We want to come do something with vintage baseball. Tell us about your event. And I told them about the festival, and they're like, we're not interested. It's just random, non-competitive games. They weren't interested. And I said, well, give me some time to think about it. So I think I called Kid. I threw some ideas off him. He threw them back at me. I slept on it. And we came up with a tournament. No, it wasn't 8 teams. It started out as 4, yes. And then it was one from every state because we only had 4 states. And then word of that got out, and there you have 8 states.
Awesome.
Hey, Maddie.
Yes.
How are you?
We just realized. Hey, Kid, are you taking an audio file of this?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Can you
I got
send
it.
that to me?
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Oh, please tell me you weren't recording. That would.
We got everything. Yeah. We got everything's getting recorded on the internet, and everything's getting recorded on the recorder here.
So basically, what you're saying is I can expect or not expect the Gatlin match.
The Gatling gun match.
You will not participate in a Gatling gun match.
All right, good.
That was a unique experience for all of us.
Nobody knew what the fuck was going on.
That was a little weird.
Well,
It was
that is my fault. That is on me.
No, I'm not putting it on you. We still had fun because we won, but like I'm gonna shoot you straight. We basically just made the rules so we could win. That's basically what happened.
Well, that's what you guys do.
No, we do. I'm not gonna lie to you. If Rudy dies and I take over the team, you guys are gonna speak
Okay.
just about the team.
Okay. Anyway, you're an idiot. No, but so
Should I not have said that about you dying?
So look,
like
this is why Rudy Frias isn't he's basically in charge of this tournament. And I know people are going to talk and, oh, look, Rudy's in charge of the tournament and he's in the tournament. You goddamn right he is. Okay?
You know what?
Because
if you want me to knock him down a fucking step, I'll do it, man. Before we get there, I'll be like, no, this is Barrel Roller's fucking tournament. Rodolfo is just out there dicking around, spreading fucking angel dust and shit.
The mission statement of this festival, the mission statement was, always will be, we're all there together to play baseball together.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
You guys, you play bound all the time because you're in Ohio and there's a lot of bound in Ohio. You don't like it. You want to play fly. You want the ultra competitive matches. Have I said anything incorrect so far?
Not yet.
No, but I'm starting a team. Does anybody out there in Michigan want to join my team? Because
nobody cares. So, so that tournament right there is a Columbus Capital tournament. The statement of the Capitals, which is the statement for a lot of other teams and is the statement of the festival. Can you go out? Can you try your hardest? Can you go out and try to win? Do whatever it takes to win and laugh in the process. Can you do it? Because you have to be in the Uncle Sam tournament.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean, and I think it's a beautiful thing to like stress and try to achieve. And because I mean, no one really wants to go out there and like, you know, people go to the world tournament, but it's stressful for some people, and you know, that ultra competitiveness. But if you can go out there and have a good time, you know, that's what I feel is most important for my club. Win, lose, or draw, as long as we're having a good time, I don't really, you know, it happens. It is what it is.
You just have to get to Saturday night at the Pink Palace.
Yeah, right.
That's what everyone's playing for.
But the losses stick with you guys. You guys talk about that.
What was that?
I mean, the losses stick with you guys from Greenfield Village. Why do the Greenfield Village losses stick with you?
Because we get to go. If you can only lose in the championship so many times before you get numb to it.
True, it's true.
Now I'm just numb to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But there's always new ways, like, you know, adding an extra inning. Too soon?
It's the only
Too soon?
Yeah, you guys want to?
Too soon?
I think we got time. We got time for next
it's
one.
Not gonna
it's
lie,
the
I'm
only
a-
event that feels like it means something.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why the losses hurt so bad.
yeah.
You
I
can
would-
look. When I
Well,
played on Bay City, we lost to Walker. We lost to Saginaw. I'm not talking Greenfield Village. We go to Saginaw. We lose.
Mhm.
We've lost in Walker.
Mhm.
We've lost single matches at Greenfield Village. None of those hurt. But you lose to one of those in the World's tournament. You lose to one of those teams.
It's all about the
hurts.
eyeballs. It's all about the eyeballs.
It hurts.
It's because when you play against Walker and those guys, when you go to their place, it's them and their family sitting there watching you play. It's 20, 30, 40 people there. You go to the Worlds, there's hundreds of people there watching. It's all about that. When you lose in front of more people. I think that's what it is.
Well, and the Greenfield Village one is more of it's much more relaxed because you play more of their 50-man roster. When you play them in the Worlds, there's just a sense of it's just a tighter, it's a more competitive game because
I can tell you
you're
that.
only getting the top 11 Latidas and they're all super competitive. And as a Bay City, we kind of play to our opponents. When our opponents, when we're out having fun and hey, let's just this and that, it's a great time.
I think you brought up the time limit thing. Always screws you. If you're racing against the clock, the games are automatically a high pressure. Automatic.
I agree.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, and
But
and it's
that's- go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, well, I was gonna to piggyback on Silverback. Hey, no, like while we were, before we called and everything, we were just messing around and looking at some old videos, and we were looking at a match from
2013.
2016 against Bay City, and it was the semifinals match, and that game was back and forth, but we were having a great time. Like in the video, we're laughing, like I got in a rundown and I'm shaking people's hand, like J-Mac's hands, and like we're having a great time. Yeah, it was a semifinal match at the World Tournament, but we were playing to our competition, and you guys were out there to have a good time, and so were we. And I think
Well, it was still a fantastic, great match.
yeah, it was a great match.
It
Yeah,
was, but there was no pressure. It was
Yeah.
like
I agree.
that's my second favorite game against the first one is a couple of years ago out at Field of Dreams.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like when the second game, we're like, you know what? Let's just mix up that is as close as an adult who's played baseball all of my life. That is as close as I've gotten to that childhood. Pick them up and just go out and play, and a bunch of kids laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. But that game that you're talking about, that semifinal, it was amazing because it was a great game. But there was no pressure. We were joking, even as tight as it was. There was joking around. We were having fun the entire time. It was a good game. And who won that game? I forgot.
Oh, I know who won that game because I was on the field.
Swamp, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
That you just did.
Thank you.
questions.
And I'm spent.
So-
To the Bay City, gentlemen. What's your roster looking like this year? And then also to Barrel Roller for his Frankenmuth team. What is your roster looking like? What are you expecting as far as total commitments to the team? That's for all of you up there in Michigan. Crickets.
For us in Bay City, we've got a lot of the same guys. We have towards the end of the year. I don't know if you guys got the chance to meet Twig last year. Younger guy, really fast, long, luxurious locks.
No, definitely did not.
Okay, great kid. He played football for me years ago, and he got introduced not last year but the year before, and this year he kind of came on as a full-time player, and like halfway through the year, we got his older brother to try it out, and he absolutely fell in love with it more than Twig has. And like at the end of the year, we're like, oh, okay, now we're gonna get, because Bay City is getting older, and we need those young kids to run out in the long field, and so we had these two young kids, and all of a sudden, like at the end of the year, Graham Moonlight got a job promotion to Grand Rapids, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, I don't want you to worry about it. I'm changing my schedule around. Like he's planning his summer out
To
around
come
the
back.
schedule so he can come and play to as many games as possible.
Oh wow.
Now, when you're coming from Grand Rapids to play for a Bay City team, that makes you feel good. But we still, we know we need to fill. We're looking at filling another couple guys, and then we'll have we'll be around 13, 14, which is our normal. And then like at a home game, we'll have like someone show up out of the cornfield like Hee Haw. Hey guys, haven't seen you in 6 years. Can I play?
We Tomcat LaRue bumped into a buddy of his that he used to play softball with, who lo and behold is my boss, my new boss, and he is the nephew of Jim Northrup from the Tigers. So he has expressed interest in playing multiple times, and I just texted him the other day, so we may be picking
Wow.
him up to play with us too. So he's not exactly a young buck, like he's probably Silverback. He might be your age, maybe a couple of years older,
Like
right around mid 40s,
35.
40, but
Thank you.
he's a good dude. He's a good guy, and according to Tomcat and Sean, who played with him and against him, that he's pretty solid in that respect. So
All right.
that's one that I'm pretty excited about. I just talked to him yesterday about that.
That's awesome.
We're secretly filling out our scouting report, so keep giving us
Yeah, give us
information.
everything. We
I'm
need-
going to bat left-handed wrong-handed the entire year just to try something new.
Let's sign a bond to do it together.
Yes,
I've talked about
let's
doing
do
that.
it. I want to really showcase the legs, the getaway sticks this year.
You need that extra step out of the box, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to slap it around a little bit.
After the game or before the game?
Sometimes, if the inning's long enough, out on the field.
Tummy sticks.
As far as the Frankenmuth roster,
Yeah.
what you're going to see some surprises.
Ooh.
You're going to see a show. I am building. The Bavarian team is an ode to vintage baseball.
Yeah.
We are not an ode to Frankenmuth. We play in Frankenmuth,
Right.
and we do some very German and Bavarian things to fit in with Frankenmuth. We won't necessarily stay in Frankenmuth in the future. We can go from town to town. We're a chameleon.
Like the Partridge Family.
But I'm building. The team exists to be an extension of the festival.
Okay.
Okay. I want them to play fly and bound. I want them to be competitive and be able to beat people. And I want them to be able to take an ass whooping like a man.
Cool.
I want us to put on a show. We're going to be yelling German. We're going to be yelling angry German words. We are going to make presentations like we're walking to the field as a group. I mean, let me give you an example. In Bay City, when Jamie Johnson was the captain, and you guys can tell me if you guys still do this, but the huddle before the match, the pregame speech before the match, nobody heard that except the Bay City guys. But we would all get hyped, and we would let out the largest 3 cheers in a Tiger that you'd hear all day. You wouldn't hear a louder one than that. That show. That's putting on a show.
Mhm.
And it's also hyping yourselves up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, that's what Frankenmuth's going to be. It's a show.
That's great.
We want everyone to take notice because we want to take this farther. So Frankenmuth isn't going to care if you beat us by 40, and we're not going to care to beat you by 40. We exist to help along what I'm trying to do.
So kind of like a Harlem Globetrotters type.
No, more like the team that gets beat by the Globetrotters every week.
The Washington Generals.
The Washington Generals is
Yes,
correct.
That's
The Washington Generals on Gilligan's Island. That is the Frankenmuth team.
yes.
No, we get people interested through various different ways, and you know how it goes. I'm not going through anything different than any other team.
Yeah.
They sound really interested. You never hear from them again. They're totally in. You didn't even get their last name.
It's like vintage baseball Tinder.
You know, in this off season,
Great idea.
in this off season, if everybody who came to me said or came to me and was on the roster that said that they wanted to be on the roster, I'd be all set. I'd have 20 guys,
Yeah.
but I don't, and I
Yeah.
know that. So I'm out there working on. You know how it can snowball. I'm hoping for a snowball. I'm hoping I have picked up a couple of new interests, and I'm hoping one of those catches, and then all of their friends hear about it, and then all of their friends hear about it, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But it's a struggle.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
You
Hey.
gotta be patient.
Yeah.
This year will be a struggle, but not as much as last year.
Okay. That's cool. What got you jazzed about this year's Michigan Vintage Baseball Festival? What are you looking forward to? Well, all of you. What are y'all looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Monday.
I want to see these competitions that we're talking about. This throwing competition, hitting competition stuff. That's what I'm interested in seeing.
I look forward to the cockade on Friday nights.
No, sorry, it's over.
No cockades.
It's not in our budget.
Okay.
Did you say cockades?
Cockades.
Cockades, yikes.
Cockades. You remember?
We did the cockades last year. Rudy has one.
Rudy, you have a cockade, don't you?
I told you that in confidence.
Well, you know, we don't want every year to be the same.
I know,
Okay.
I know.
So this year, no cockade,
I just wanted to say cockade.
no Gatling gun.
I'm glad about the Gallon gun.
You know, my big thing, the thing that I'm really excited about is I don't have a lot of years left playing vintage. You know, I realize that Father Time, you know, is the undefeated champion.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Well, exactly. And I'm not going to be a Richard Curry sticking around, you know, standing on statues when I
Show
pass my
dicks.
time.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway,
You
but
Did
anyway,
you just win a bet or something to try to
That's awesome.
shoehorn that
But
in
it-
somewhere?
It's a drinking
but
game
it-
somewhere.
but anyway,
Felt forced.
anyway, for me, it's like every year, when I schedule, I'm trying to schedule these teams, and there's guys that you can't schedule everyone you want to play,
Yeah.
and this community of vintage baseball, historic baseball, is so tight knit. You want to play all because I mean I have friends on all of these teams, and sometimes our schedules just don't align. So this is a weekend where I get to see, my friends from Columbus. I get to see, the guys from Mount Clemens. I get to see some of the guys that we won't see in the regular season otherwise. So and not necessarily playing them, but a chance to just hang out and hanging out with Boomer. Well, now we actually got Rochester on our schedule this year, but like last year, hanging out with Boomer was awesome because we didn't get a chance to play them in the year. And I really enjoy that. For me, I'm at the point in my career where it's the camaraderie. I love when it's time to play. I'm still fairly competitive, a little bit, but a little competitive. But
Tell the truth.
He's a little less than he used to
What
be.
the hell?
but
Okay, but less than what it used to be is not a little.
I'm a little competitive, but that camaraderie and hanging out and stuff. That's what I love.
Yeah, I agree.
Garfield had just a couple extra pounds on him.
I like lasagna.
My favorite Jeff Raw softball story about how competitive he is. I go to a
Uh-oh.
softball game. I watch him play. His first time up, dinger. His second time up, dinger. His third time up, dinger. His fourth time up, a dinger. They're destroying the team by, I don't remember how many runs. This is a long time ago. His fifth time up, warning track. He whips his bat against the fence and goes and pouts on the bench.
Are you serious?
What a shit bag.
Oh my
Serious.
God.
What a
You had
total.
4 bombs and you warning tracked one.
I just got breaking news, guys. I just got a text message from Wesley Redstick Perry, and the text says, and I quote, "Hey, dude, I'm up north snowmobiling, drunk as fuck in the cabin."
Wait a minute. We didn't have the. Read that again. Ready?
All right. This just in: Wes Perry's drunk and snowmobiling.
Wait a minute.
News at 11.
He's hung out with us. That's definitely not news, dude. We're drunk all the time.
Oh, we lost another one, guys. Oh man.
No, he's actually contacting me because, like I said, scheduling. So, for the
All right.
festival.
Wait, now, is he on the snowmobile drunk? Because that's a concern. Text that motherfucker back right now.
I don't know. He always seemed
knowing him, he's probably on the horse on the snowmobile drunk. He's got the horse driving.
I don't
Hey,
know.
bro.
He always seemed very responsible to me.
Oh my god.
Cut, chop, chop.
I mean, I'm looking at my notes right now, and we've tackled everything that I've wanted to talk about. Is there anything y'all want to talk about?
Here we go with some rapid fire. Mightiest striker contest.
Huh?
1 representative, every team, 5 swings, get out of the way.
Okay.
Longest strike out of the 37 wins.
Okay.
I
Is
tell
it-
you what the trophy is.
Is that a soft toss or situation or regular
It
pitch?
is. We'll supply pitchers. Silverback will probably be one of them, if I were to take a guess.
Are you
Okay.
saying I serve it up so nice?
I mean, no. Yes.
I mean, if we're going to do something that serves it up, let's have Swamp Fox pitch to everybody.
Ouch. And then on the farm fields at the end of Saturday, we have the playing a catch, where you get with a player, 2-man team, doesn't have to be on the same team.
Oh, is this what we did on our game?
Yeah.
That's fun.
And then you just go farther apart. Every time a catch is made by both players, you just go farther apart, and you just keep going farther apart until there's one team left. And there's your 2-man championship. Trophy ceremony in the beer tent. Yes. When you're talking about differences this year from last year, there's a beer tent.
Wait a minute. That wasn't tops on your list of things. to
Will
bring
there
up.
be beer in the beer tent?
There will be beer.
Who will be? It's gonna be German style. Those girls with all their hands full, delivering them to us
I can tell you that won't
like
be in the.
Oktoberfest.
Will
I
they be
can tell
saying-
you that won't be in the beer tent.
Darn it.
Outside of the beer tent.
Outside the beer tent.
Well, we do have a captain's match for beers at third base. So
Oh,
That's
I'm
not
so
bad.
excited.
So we need that girl.
We, that was fun last year because how many of us could have actually scored where we stopped at third? Nope. And then just missed it.
What else do we got? Oh, we're going to have judges walking around all day that are not privy to vintage baseball. So they're not going to know anybody.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be judging vintage baseball facial hair.
Oh,
And we'll be crowning a facial hair champion in the beer tent. Also, best uniform, once again, judged by non-vintage baseball players or people, not players. So that will be presented at 8:30 in the beer tent on Saturday, and then the beer tent sound ordinance. I expect that to be the only time the beer tent's actually busy.
Whatever.
And and then we're also presenting an award to the 2018 Festival Club of the Year.
oh,
Did we win that?
So, spoiler, no. It's an award that we're starting just in case this goes somewhere, and it's going to go to the club that was talked about the most by Frankenmuth, who has not a dog in the fight, didn't care who came into their places, and didn't have any idea. So there was a club that was on the tongues of people in meetings,
oh, good.
and so they will be recognized.
Oh, that's
I'll
cool.
tell you what, we tore a little karaoke bar down, so hopefully you talked with them.
Were you wearing your uniforms?
Absolutely.
Next year we will be.
You bet your ass.
Wait, you guys went to karaoke on Saturday?
Yeah, we went to some fucking dive bar where we went in and we were one half of the people in there.
What was the name of it?
I don't
Dude,
know. I wasn't invited.
They sang all
Wow.
both kinds of music, country and western.
What's that? Is that the Dead Creek Saloon?
I don't know, but long story short, we had to have a fucking Uber 20 minutes away. I had to get this poor girl's phone number to be like, "Hey, come and pick us up." It was bad. It was bad. But we still had a great time.
So you're saying we're repeating this year?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Let me know what award I'm winning.
We'll do it.
Oh gosh.
And then Sunday is going to be getaway day. It's the draft the draft will go on after the captain's meeting and dinner. This year the food will be better. I won't be preparing it.
But no cockade?
Don't know. No cockade. I don't know who the food's coming from. I just know that I'm not taking care of it. So
All right.
and then we have the draft, and it's just normal matches on Sunday. And
Let's hype up the captain's match a little bit. Let's not gloss over that because there's going to be hopefully almost 40 guys.
yes, there will be 2 teams of 20,
Wow.
and that's so everybody can have a good time and play
And
well every other inning.
Yeah.
You know,
That's great.
and
that-
I was thinking, do we break it down into two matches, and then it's like everybody's playing just about every inning? And kid didn't like that idea.
Well, not
So-
just that. You're going to get some guys that aren't going to be able to get there for it. So even if that 20-man roster, is down to 17.
I
18.
would assume that on that Friday night, you're probably going to end up having like 15 out of the team. That's
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
would
set-
think
I'm gonna
that,
set- I'm gonna set
but
the over-under
there was
at
only
30.
one team not represented last year.
There was only one team that wasn't.
There was only one captain not there.
Did we
What,
invite
which
them back?
which team was that?
Oh, really?
Uh,
Really? Really?
uh,
Really?
because Jim Wood took their place and was at the Great Black Swamp.
I swear I
Frogs.
didn't. I swear I did not know that. I knew it and I didn't realize it until it came out.
No, it wasn't-
That was not
wasn't-
that was
no,
not
no,
an
'cause
intentional jab there.
Swampy was Swampy.
It
played
was
for
an Ohio
Petoskey.
team,
Oh, it was.
and I know that the gentleman from Northville showed up and took part in the draft, but he didn't play in the match. So the turnout was way better than I expected. So I'm not going to lower my expectations this year. I haven't heard of, hey, it doesn't have to be the captain, send a rep. I mean, who's coming from
I'll be
Columbus? Because Rudy's got a spot, just like Al has a spot in the for being part of the festival. So who's
I'll be there. Yeah.
So Columbus will have a rep in it as well. So
I'm hoping to actually do some interviewing and like to get some, to stop and talk to people during the whole event, get some, find out what's going on.
well, I think you should get with Kid
Yeah, we should do some video of you actually doing that too.
and set up a podcast area
Mhm.
right there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to be able to do it right at the field where we're playing because we have electricity at field 2, not at field 1. So
Okay.
I don't know how we can work around that. You know what? The podcast idea probably works better for the beer tent, the captain's meeting and dinner. And then
Yeah,
you can pull people aside
Yeah. Whatever.
and do it over there because then you'll have plenty of electricity and plenty of
I
room.
don't even if we're just doing audio, we're not gonna need a lot.
Or whatever you guys want to do.
I defer to that guy.
We'll get that game plan situated for sure.
Yeah. Sounds great.
So I'm planning on shooting a ton of pictures. That's why I was really glad that you decided to go with just the one captain's match because I did not want to have to jump back and forth between
No,
two fields to take
I
pictures
went,
of everybody.
I went with the one captain's match because that's what you decided. So
Yeah.
that's a kid Garcia.
I love that, man, dude. It was like I'd rather watch an All-Star game like that than watch a regular All-Star game. I think.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, he made the right decision. So
I feel you. No, I mean, like that's across the board. All of our club is super excited about this weekend. Like we
What are you guys doing this weekend?
I'm sorry, that weekend, the Michigan Vintage Baseball Festival.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're super excited about that because a lot of us those of us who weren't there got to hear about it all season long about how much fun it was, and so like it's really generated a lot of interest just in our game alone.
let me ask you something. Is there not a captain's match at the Ohio Cup?
No, not specifically for the cap. There's a Friday night all clubs match where they just take anybody, but not every club is represented, and it's not a captain. So
And
No.
that is not happening this year?
It happens, but like it's not specifically just the captains, and you can't, and not all clubs are represented. It's any club, so like all 9 capitals could show up for that game, and so I mean, that's why I love the idea of the captains match, because you get a representative from each club on the field playing. It's perfect.
And this goes, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but the captains match happens and exists solely for the purpose of it making it look like a special event.
Yeah,
it's a special event for the captains. It's a dinner just for the captains, and it's a draft that only the captains are allowed to participate in, and that is done for a very specific reason. That's to make it feel special, because we need more events that feel special. So
I agree.
That's why it exists.
Yeah, that's great, man. But I mean, shit, we covered everything, dude. On my end, I
want you to tell me what you expect out of your tournament that you're in.
What I
at the festival.
Well, I expect out of the tournament, to echo what we had said previously, I expect every club to come in it with a competitive spirit, but not lose the sense that it's not the end all of the tournament. You know, winning it is, being a part of it is what's more important. You know, being on the field with the team that with the club that you're on, sharing the field with, is what's important. Making new connections and new relationships. Our first game is a team we've never even heard of, and we're very excited to meet them. I want clubs to get that feeling. I want clubs, because I said it all year last year. It was just but Saturday and Sunday, nothing but fun. It was fun for us to be there. It was a fun experience. It's a fun tournament, and I don't want to lose that. And that's what I'm hoping to gain out of. That's what I'm hoping other clubs take away from this tournament. That you're.
And you know, there's people out there worried about where we're going with this.
Really,
where we're going with the tournament. I don't know how Greenfield Village feels about this tournament. I don't think they. I know they know it exists. I don't know if they understand, and maybe somebody will hear this and understand. The only reason that tournament exists was to get it online, because if it didn't exist, there was no online.
Yeah, I mean, and
I am not trying to step on anybody's toes. The Greenfield Village tournament will always be the Super Bowl. I don't want to compete with that. I don't want anything to do with that, because it's special, and that's what we're going for.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's not a competition. You're literally trying to grow the game. You're trying to get exposure for our community. And if hosting the tournament is what's getting it done, that's what needs to happen. And so, I mean, that's perfect. But
it's not going to become a giant tournament.
No,
it's not going to become the Michigan Vintage Baseball Tournament.
No,
it's always going to be the festival. And there are no future plans for the tournament. We don't know.
I mean,
what will it spawn into?
Future plans for the festival.
Dun, dun, dun.
That doesn't make sense.
You can't mess with the dynamic of the festival, because that's why we got so many teams coming. You turn it into a tournament that ruins it, and then I'll never have any credibility going forward.
That is a scientific fact.
So yeah, I mean, spitballing. You guys got any ideas? I'm seeing if Frankenmuth takes hold of this, and boy, they should, because boy, I got a lot in store for them if they do. I see a festival and a tournament.
Yeah,
2 different events.
I see it. Yeah.
What would you think about a tournament that had 37 teams?
One and done.
Single elimination.
That would be
like March Madness style.
That'd be hard from the standpoint, and you'd have teams that
they drive quite a ways.
We don't want to drive 9 hours and then get prison raped and have to drive home.
Right. You'd never get 37 teams to do that. But I'm saying and there is a rumor, and I bring this up because there's a rumor that those fields, the farm fields, might be getting flattened in the future for soccer fields, which is still something we can use.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're flat.
Especially if the turf is nice.
So if it's flat, then you can have a tournament. Can't have a tournament on a farm field, but if it's flat, you can.
Have you ever been to Gettysburg?
That's not a tournament.
It's not. It's a festival.
Yeah.
You got me. Well played, sir. Well
Thank
played.
you. Thank you. But so 37 teams in a tournament's unrealistic. But how many, when you have 6 fields available to you, how many is viable?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Just do it!
So yeah, and and like I said, 2020, you do a live stream at Frankenmuth for the second Uncle Sam. I have an idea in my head to have a live stream at the historic Hamtramck Stadium, the Negro League Stadium that's still standing, for an event. And then there's a third that doesn't exist in my head yet.
Wow.
Yeah. Sky's the limit. What are we gonna do? You know what? I know what I'm doing. It's time for all of us to do it and get us put on the map.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop until a vintage baseball player is on the Sports Center top 10 highlights. Mark my words.
it's going to be marbles.
If I do
Marbles is gonna
nothing,
some-
if I do nothing else in vintage baseball, I will get somebody on a highlight on Sports Center.
Oh, I like.
It'll be marbles or copper.
it's going to be marbles.
It's true.
That's
We're playing all 37 games in one weekend.
Yeah,
It's true.
We're gonna put a press pack together for ESPN. Check this guy out. He's a professional wrestler. Does vintage baseball. Take selfies with his shirts off and shit.
Speaking
You
of
should
Mike,
see him make a burrito bowl.
Marbles and I have a great idea for 2020. We have a great idea.
Vintage wrestling.
Oh,
Giants coming back.
that's hilarious.
Big job.
1860s professional wrestling.
Let's get Silverback in the singlet.
Put up the Dukes.
No, they did not put up the Dukes in 1860s. The one thing you wouldn't be able to do is mess with the way they wrestle, because they're trained in certain ways.
Yeah.
And you couldn't just say, hey, you have to do this hold or this way. You can't do that. So they would be dressed 1860s wrestlers, and the venue would look 1860s,
how different
but
was
they
it?
would wrestle.
So I couldn't jump in and be like part of a secret tag team match. Me and
No.
Marbles.
Pulling the object out of his trunks.
Oh my
That's no space station.
You pull your hammy entering a double into the scorebook.
God.
You're not jumping into anything. Jeez.
Words hurt, you know.
Especially truthful ones. All right, you guys got anything else for us?
Nah, brother. Actually, you know what? We're gonna call it in the evening and wrap it up here. Thank you guys. Thank all of you for just being a part of this and taking the time out to talk to us. And yeah, no, give it up.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on. I hope everybody starts listening to your program. I don't know. Have your numbers come up?
Our numbers have jumped, and
Watch them now.
Oh man.
We're gonna take. Word's getting out, and that's all I want. I just want people to know about vintage baseball and do research, and find out about it. And hoping that this could be a platform for people to get information and find out about vintage baseball in the community. So, that's all I need. I'm okay.
We're going to be bigger than softball.
That's what I'm hoping.
And
Right?
sober while we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well, except for the early risers.
Whoa, another cut. Hey, Rudy, when you cut on this, send me the cut version.
Yeah.
Before you release it. I'd like to hear it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I was going to ask you, how long are you taking to edit this stuff?
Oh man, it takes me
a while.
It takes me about an hour. It takes
take a little longer this time.
Do you want? Hey, I'm going to tell you a trick. Okay, there's a I've done this on the phone before when I know I'm going to have to do a bunch of editing. Bring up the stopwatch and just when you just tap it.
Oh
Whenever
yeah.
somebody says something, just tap it, and it'll do a time cut, so you can know. Okay, at 5 minutes in, I got to do this. All right,
Dude.
7 minutes later, I got to do this.
That's a
You
great
just because then
idea.
you're just all you're doing is sitting there with the phone. You're just sitting there, and if somebody says something you want to cut, you're just like tap. I got to get rid of that.
So
Just keeps on going.
anything
Tap
that
again.
came out of me negative towards Frankenmuth needs to go.
Oh, you know that. You know, I would
I-
make everybody sound amazing
I didn't
except
think
for
you said
that.
anything.
Oh, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure I made some.
I don't think you did.
sarcastic
My standards are a little bit in the gutter, man. I say bad things about
Frankenmuth is a
everybody.
great town. Frankenmuth has a lot of great people. Frankenmuth doesn't get growing an event; they get events.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. All right. Well,
You guys want to hear a joke before you go? You ready?
yeah, let's go.
So an old lady offers her bus driver some peanuts, and the bus driver happily munches on them. Every 5 minutes, she gives this guy a new handful of peanuts. The driver says, "Why don't you eat these yourself?" And she's like, "I can't chew, sweetheart. Look, I have no teeth." And he goes, "Well, why the hell did you buy them then?" She said, "Oh, I just love the chocolate around them."
wow. Hey, Mouth.
Yummy.
Mouth. What are your plans for the festival when you come into town?
I took the whole week off before and after because I'm planning to rehab and go into Alcoholics Anonymous.
No. Listen to me. You're going to be in Frankenmuth the week ahead, week leading into the tournament,
The week and then the week after I'm off. Yeah.
dude. You're up here to do a show like the podcast, not the PG podcast.
Oh yeah, we'll come up there and we'll get fucking nuts.
Oh God, that's a
We'll get some sheenuses going. You guys know what that is?
Well, in fact,
Just don't tell Rudy about it, okay?
No, seriously.
Is this the kind of podcast where we wear hoods? Is that where we're like?
It can either be that, or it can be the kind of podcast where we won't have to wear hoods because we'll have a girl in your face. We won't see your face.
Whoa. What's a girl?
Hey, I'm down with everything.
Uh-oh.
It's getting nuts. I got that Sunday.
And we'll try to line that up, right, Silver?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hopefully I'm out of school. I know it's May. I'll still be in
young
school.
people together is gonna kill me.
No,
Oh,
it's
it's
June. It's June.
What is
School's out, bro.
Before the festival? The week before the festival.
The Ragu?
the
Okay.
festival's in May? No, I'm sorry. May is the World Cup, or not the Ohio Michigan Cup.
Classic.
Yeah, that's
June.
That's
The tournament's in June. Hopefully, I'm out of school.
That's called Mind the Gap. That's what we call that.
Oh my God.
You'll get on plenty of time for that.
I
Oh,
hope.
We'll be good.
all right.
Surprises.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we're gonna let you go. Okay.
You just teased something there. What was that? What do you mean? Watch for surprises.
What are you talking about?
Stay tuned.
Oh man.
This isn't who you're looking for. Daryl, I'm very disappointed in you.
Did Rudy ever tell you about when I was doing vintage baseball Bane? That was like the highlight of my whole career.
Vintage baseball Bane? Really?
Vintage baseball Bane.
That's
Hold on,
awesome.
let me. What's hold on, help me out here.
He would just say random baseball things.
Go up a little.
You know, we did that 2 years ago when Cockatrain was on steroids.
God,
So
yeah.
we were calling him Cockabane.
We called him Cockabane. Little Bane.
I seem to have hit the ball to the third sack again.
Let me
I
know
can't
how
do it.
this. Let me know how this audio is on this one.
There, go for it.
You thought the ball game was your friend.
Dude, yeah, if you had the voice
Transformer like this, you can use it with your numbers.
Okay.
I love it. All right, guys, we got to call it quits. I got to go drop shrooms.
Slide it in right to the top. Slide it in.
See you guys
guys.
later.
Bye, brother.